Alright, so today I'm gonna be tier ranking the albums by one of my favorite bands, if not my favorite band of all time, Radiohead. Um, yeah, if you're new here, I build my way up from D tier to C tier to B tier to A to S, and I give the albums number ratings as I go on. So yeah, I'm just gonna kick into it, you know. But a quick side note, um, one of my favorite Radiohead songs that is not on an album is their Mission Impossible theme, I believe. I don't remember. I think it's. I don't remember. All those movies are the same. But yeah, that one rejected theme that they made, fantastic song. Um, but yeah, let's just kick right into it. So for the bottom two records, I think I got like the two albums here. They're pretty tied for me. One of them has pretty high highs and like honestly kind of low lows, but the other one is just kind of consistently fine. I don't think it's. I think one has some really special like favorite Radiohead songs in mine on it, but the other one is just whatever, man. And I think today Radiohead's weakest album to me is their just okay album, and that album is King of Limbs. There's nothing inherently wrong with the King of Limbs. I don't think Radiohead has like a horrible album. I just think they have two albums that kind of pale in comparison to the others, and King of Limbs is definitely one of those albums. Um, they kind of just experiment with drum loops and stuff. There are some good songs on here, like Separator and Lotus Flower. But overall, it's a pretty just boring little collage of songs that I don't really go back to at all. If anything, this would be the Radiohead album that I revisit the least. Um, yeah, I don't really listen to this album, and if I were to go, I think this was the last Radiohead album that I listened to. I listened to their catalog out of order, but yeah, this was the last album I listened to. It is not very good. It is not particularly horrible though. It's just mediocre and kind of boring at times. If not half the record, it's boring. Yeah, I think. Um, yeah, it's easily Radiohead's weakest project in my eyes. But above that, though, not by too much, is Pablo Honey, their debut. And I put it above King of Limbs mainly just because of its high highs. You look at yeah, I think my favorite song off here easily is You, which is like a top 20 Radiohead song for me. That song's fantastic. Um, Blowout's good. You got some good songs here and there. Overall, though, it's really just You for me. That's a fantastic song. It's just like, wow. I don't think King of Limbs has like a wow song for me. Um, but Pablo Honey does have a problem, that being the very messy sound to it. Tom's voice at times can sound very moany and kind of sounding, where it's just kind of like, ugh, I don't want to hear this anymore. There are some, as I said, good songs on here though. Of course, I mentioned Blowout, but you also have songs on here that I really like Prove Yourself, which is mainly just for the Prove Yourself hook that I really like. Um, I'm pretty sure Vegetable is a decent song. I don't really remember this album that much, but overall, it's a pretty decent record. Or that's not pretty decent, it's just whatever. But of course, I gotta talk about Creep. I used to not really like the song. I was kind of like, oh, that's for the basic Radiohead fans. Those are for the posers. Um, but I saw this one Brad Taste in Music video where someone said that it's not that Creep is a bad song, it's just that Radiohead went on to make like all the great music that they have made in the future. And I'm like, that's facts. So yeah, Creep's decent. There's some decent songs here. Um, Overall, though, You's the biggest standout for me. It's fantastic. Overall, though, Pablo Honey and King of Limbs are just like 5 out of 10s for me. They're not nothing special to me. Uh, Above those two, though, we have another kind of tie for me, and I'm feeling uh, one more than the other, and I feel like the album that's gonna go in C tier is Amnesiac. Now, I really go back and forth with Amnesiac. One like I'll be like, this is one of my favorite Radiohead albums, and then I'll go back and I'll be like, this is very messy and pretty inconsistent. And quite frankly, I'm feeling the more inconsistent side right now. This album isn't bad though; it's definitely still good. I think this is the first good album we got on the list. I just kind of like to space out the albums. Um, but yeah, it's pretty inconsistent. There's some pretty weird tracks on here. This has some of Radiohead's weirdest material to date, with songs like the Sardines Crushed in a Tin Can or whatever song, and Pull Polk Revolving Doors, just strange noise stuff. You also got Hunting Bears, which is just a guitar, from what I remember. But you also have some fantastic songs on here, like Dollars and Cents, Life in a Glass House, um, and what's it called? Freaking like Spinning Plates. Fantastic songs. You know, some pretty great stuff. But then you also have just like I think there's some pretty overrated kind of piano songs on here, like the Pyramid Song, which is just kind of like, it's good, but it's pretty overrated. You and Whose Army, it just all kind of blends together for me. There's no real big like highlights on here besides like Dollars and Cents, Life in a Glass House, and like Spinning Plates. But yeah, overall, it's Amnesiac isn't a bad album. It's kind of weak for Radiohead standards. It's definitely like a decent C tier though, and I do think it's like a light to decent 7. Anyway, though, above that, I'm like questioning whether or not I should put this album in B or C. I'll just put it in B for now. I'll slot it in. But above Amnesiac, we got the Bends. B for Bends. Um, yeah, this album's pretty inconsistent as well. But I do think it, just like Pablo Honey, it has higher highs than Amnesiac. Um, yeah, this album has some of Radiohead's best songs, like My Iron Lung, I believe. Planet Telex. Wow. Fake Plastic Trees. Wow. Those are all like top 20 Radiohead songs right there. Top 15. Some of my favorite stuff by them. Just fantastic songs. But I think what really drags this record down is the more like boring uh, alt rock cuts with songs like Bones um, and the title track. I'm pretty sure Black Star is one of those too. They just kind of repeat the chorus and it's just kind of boring. Overall, though, the Benz is, as I said, inconsistent, but I do think it's a little better. I do think it's quite better than Amnesiac. I kind of struggle to put this between B and C because I think it's like either a strong 7 to like a light 8. Today, though, I'm feeling like a light 8 on it. It's all right. It's an all right album. Now we're kicking into the top 5, and this is where we get into like the peak music stuff. This is where we get into the really good stuff. And I think to kind of kick it off at number 5, we got A Moonshaped Pool. I think A Moonshaped Pool is easily like their most, maybe their most nocturnal. Actually, I take that back. There's another album that is more nocturnal than that, but it's definitely one of their saddest records. I think nobody's gonna argue that. But yeah, it's pretty consistent. There's some fantastic Radiohead songs on here, like Burn the Witch. Just like I love the strings on that. It's very watery. This album's very watery. It feels like a cold day at the beach for some reason. You're all alone, like on a beach house, all alone, and it's cold and windy. That's just what this album feels like to me. True Love Waits, fantastic song. I'm trying to remember. Dex Dark, I really like that song. I really like Desert Island Disc as well. But I think my absolute favorite song off of here, easily Full Stop. That song is so good. That's easily one of my favorite Radiohead songs. It's just so good. 6 minutes, I believe, of just bliss. Fantastic song. I think Spectre should have totally been on this album because it just fits with the whole kind of atmosphere of it. Um, yeah, very depressing. Very good though. Very, very good album. Very good. I feel like a light 9 on this album. It's very good. Above it though, we kind of got a hot take here. We got Radiohead's kind of big step into more experimental music with Kid A. This is definitely their most nocturnal album by far. It's really good, but I think my problem with it is that it has like 2 skips on it, or maybe like 2 or 3. I'm trying to remember the full track listing. Opener, Everything in Its Right Place, just fantastic song. I like the title track. I think it's a little weird, spacey, but it's still very fun. The National Anthem, that song like hit. Like the first time I listened to that song blew me away. It's definitely not my favorite anymore, but it was like I was like whoa because of all the horns and stuff. Fantastic song. But How to Disappear Completely, one of my favorite Radiohead songs. That song is just so like sad and beautiful. I just love that song. After that, there was Tree Fingers. I remember on first listen to this album, I really liked Tree Fingers for some reason. I was like, this song is so good. But then on re-listen, I was like, wait, it's just this, and I was like, man. And they have like an extended version of it on Spotify. And I remember after listening to the album, I'm like, I gotta hear Tree Fingers extended. And I think the only reason I like Tree Fingers is because I thought it was How to Disappear Completely still. Um, but yeah, that's a mistake on my end. After that, there was Optimistic, fantastic song. I love it. Does one of my favorite things in like rock music is like you hear the strumming of the guitar. Like I don't know, man, that just tickles my brain just right. Um, After that though was In Limbo, and this is definitely a skip for me. Um, yeah, I just don't like this song, man. It gets repetitive. The kind of it's just like, dude, we get it, man. We get it. Um, but yeah, it's definitely a fantastic. It's definitely a skip for me. My bad. After that, there was Idiotech. Um, what can I say about Idiotech, man? Some people say this is like the best Radiohead song. I definitely don't agree, but it's definitely still a fantastic song off this record. I I honestly kind of skip it after on like the back end of it because it just kind of goes on with that drum beat. It's like, dude, we get it, man. Just cut off that back half of the song. But yeah, it's still a fantastic song. Morning Bell, I like this version more than the Morning Bell on Amnesiac. I don't think that's a hot take, but yeah, Morning Bell, it's kind of jazzy, I might say. But yeah, I like that song. And then another one of my favorites off this record, Motion Picture Soundtrack. That song's just beautiful, man. Beautiful, beautiful song. This record has some skips, as I said, with Tree Fingers and In Limbo, but it's got just like back to back fantastic songs. Yeah, Kid A's like a decent to strong nine. Fantastic record. At number three though, this is this is probably the hottest take on the video. Um, we got freaking Hail to the Thief. This album used to be number two for me, if I'm being honest. And yeah, I love this album. It is super good, man. It's so good. It just has some of my all-time favorite Radiohead songs on here. 2 + 2 = 5. Wolf at the Door. There. Wow. Okay. Friggin' wow. Like just this album's fantastic, man. It is super like it's. I gotta kind of take a hip hop detour here, but people say Kanye West, The Life of Pablo, is supposed to be messy, and I feel that same way about this album. I'm pretty sure they made it in like 2 weeks or something. They just cranked out like a song a day. I think. I don't know. I don't know. But it just feels so thrown together and just at the moment, and it's choppy, but I kind of like it because of that. I mean, I talked about how Amnesiac and the Bends and Kid A are, oh, they're inconsistent. But then I put the most friggin' inconsistent, probably one of the most inconsistent Radiohead albums at the number three spot. But I think it kind of warrants it. It's very loose, doesn't really have a focus to it. It has loose political themes thrown here and there. It's just like they threw a bunch of stuff at the wall to see what would stick, and it all slid to the floor, but it still worked. I don't know. This album's fantastic. As I said, some of my favorite Radiohead songs on here. But there are points on this album where the songs are very, very bad. This album is so choppy. Like you got songs on here like Myxomatosis, which is just I got Myxomatosis. It is so annoying. With that synth line, horrible. Then you got songs on here like a freaking Sail to the Moon that just don't make me feel anything. Um, what else? The Gloaming. Actually, I don't hate the Gloaming. It's a decent song. It's fine. Um, freaking I Will. I forgot about I Will. That's a fantastic song. This album is just so good, dude. It's so good. It is so like choppy everywhere, all over the place. And I don't know why, but I just love it for this album specifically. I got nothing more to say here. It's like a light 10, man. Light 10. Decent 9 to a strong 9 to a light 10. But yeah, it's pretty great. Pretty fantastic. At number 2 though, man, this could totally be at number 1, but it's got one huge problem that I'll get into. But at number 2 we got OK Computer. Now here's my problem with OK Computer. The end. I think if this track list was like flipped backwards, this would be my favorite album of all time. It starts out rough, but then it ends with like some of the best music I've ever heard. But it sadly isn't sequenced that way. But yeah, like the first half of the year, wow. Airbag, Paranoid Android, Subterranean Homesick Alien, Exit Music, Letdown, Karma Police. That is one of the greatest six track runs of all time. I swear, dude. It is fantastic. Fantastic song back to back. And it just then Fitter Happier run comes around and ruins it all. Now, I'm not saying the back half of this album is bad, There's still great songs after the first half of this album, but it does not hit the same whatsoever. I did overplay Karma Police and Let Down just by a little. There's still great songs though, but like those first four tracks specifically, fantastic. Airbag, Paranoid Android, and Exit Music, easily some of my favorite Radiohead songs of all time. But as I said, after Fitter Happier, it kind of goes down in quality. You got songs like Electioneering. I love that song, honestly. I like the You Go Forward. I don't know, I just like that a lot. It bangs. Climbing Up the Walls, that's a great song. I kind of overplayed that one too. I don't know how. Um, no Surprises speaks for itself. I think it's a little overrated. Definitely not my favorite song off of here, but really great track. And then it dips down really hard. You go from peak music to great to forgettably boring. It is really it takes a real dip after No Surprises, man. Lucky, I just remember that song from being like that one spacey song. Like I remember on like the chorus, it goes like and it's all spacey. Um, but yeah, I don't like Lucky as a song. But here's the thing, I don't remember the tourist whatsoever. I'll listen to it and then I'll be like, what was that song again? Because I don't remember it because it's so boring. It's forgettable. It kind of makes me disappointed how like this album ends with just really boring songs when it starts out so explosive and then it just kind of fades out at the end. Um, but yeah, it just starts so strong and ends so like, ugh. And I love this album, but and I said it would be my favorite album of all time if it was flipped backwards in terms of sequencing. So like ended on Airbag or something. But yeah, it starts out so strong and just ends with just these completely boring songs that I just don't vibe with whatsoever. That being said, though, as I said, it still starts out very strong. Um, and I still do think this is like a light 10 for me. Um, it's still a fantastic album, but just that end, man, it's really disappointing for me. Um, but yeah, as I said, light 10. And number one, though, we have one of my favorite albums of all time, In Rainbows. In Rainbows is freaking fantastic. It is so good, dude. It is so good. It it's Radiohead's most consistent album with no skips whatsoever on it. No weak songs. Like the weakest song on here is either Videotape or Fostarp. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right. Um, and those songs are like good. And then it just keeps picking up. Like you got songs like here on here like 15 Step, Body Snatchers, fantastic. Nude, All I Need, Weird Fishes, which I mean the back half of Weird Fishes kind of drags, but still they're fantastic songs. Reckoner, wow, friggin' House of Cards and Jigsaw Falling into Place, fantastic. Jigsaw Falling into Place is probably my one of, if not my favorite Radiohead song. Just the energy on that song is irreplaceable to me. I just love how it builds out of nowhere. There's no like big drop. It just keeps going and going and going. It's just layering of guitars. Just a fantastic song. But yeah, Videotape, Reckoner, or Videotape, no, not Videotape, House of Cards, Reckoner. Fantastic songs all around. As I said, no skips on this album. Easily their most consistent project to date. And just easily a strong 10 for me. As I said, it's one of my favorite albums of all time. Yeah, In Rainbows is fantastic. But yeah, that's all I have to say about it, man. And that's my Radiohead tier list. This video was definitely a little more loose for me. I didn't really have like a idea of a script going into this. Um, but yeah, that's my Radiohead tier list. I hope y'all enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and share your rankings down in the comments. I'd like to see other people's opinions on this band because I love their music so much. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.